and your marketing and your platform and whatever that has just bombed, and you thought it was going to be great and it didn't, and if at all, what did you learn from it, and were you able to apply that lesson?
I put out a record that bombed horribly on Comedy Central Records. We put out a Comedy Death Ray record, and the bar was set by another compilation record they put out called Invite Them Up, and they sold 10,000, and they were like, that is really low, so if you can pass that, we'll be happy. And I was so jacked, I was like, we're gonna sell 20,000. We sold 2,000. So that was a big bomb for me, and it kind of, but you know, what was interesting about it was the Invite Them Up record was probably 4 years earlier, and what I learned from it is that no one buys records. Yeah. And they will never, ever again. Sorry, Carrie. But it really, I thought that was going to be a big thing, and so I really had to kind of focus. I think your first failure, I've actually talked about this, your first failure in your career kind of is the medal of whether you're going to have a career or not, because I know so many people who, I had a friend who got me into comedy who had a bad audition. She was second choice for a TV role, and she didn't get it, and she moved back to Sacramento and gave up. And I always say to people, well, the people who are successful are the people who never move away. The people who go, ah, fuck it, I'll try something else. And, you know, I've had a ton of failure in my career, and you always just have to try some other thing, you know, and like something will stick.
Great. You have a failure story, Carrie?
I mean, I feel like I'm failing constantly at things. There's been bad wedding toasts, or I mean, I think if you give a wedding toast and then the couple gets divorced, it's a failure. I'm working on a book that I'm pretty sure might not finish. I'm telling you guys this for the first time, and feeling a huge sense of guilt about it. My band played a place called Sticky's Rock and Roll Chicken Shack last night in Little Rock, Arkansas, and we had 9 tickets pre-sale. But these are the things that keep you going, I think. I mean, I think that failures are the reason that you reconvene and you think about why you're doing something, and kind of to Scott's point of what he was talking about earlier, I think the impetus of why you're creating anything has to be because you love it and you believe in it and you would be doing it anyway. And I think that failures remind you of that every time, because you think, okay, if I can find some little moment of grace in this tripping and falling, then I guess it's okay. I'm gonna get through the next day. So that's my answer.
I don't think it's. I think what's great about digital culture is I don't really think you can fail, because information moves so fast that if you fuck up, like, people will forget if you put something else up after that that's funny. Like, you know, like, it's so moment to moment. So as long as you can learn from your mistake. Like, I had a similar situation. I was performing in Atlanta last year, and I did like 7 shows at a small comedy club, and like the one late show, like 10 people showed up. And so my first instinct was to be like, oh great, so this is where I'm at, fantastic, all this work for nothing. And then I was like, hey, fuck it, this is kind of a fun experiment. So I set up a table on stage, and I brought everyone in the crowd up one at a time and interviewed them. And like, I never would have done that. Like, you know, when you quote unquote fail, like that's when you have your opportunity to be most creative. And then that's the shit that you're gonna remember, more so than if 100 people had showed up for that show. I would have just forgotten about it. So, you know, I say you cannot fail as long as you're willing to stay in the game and keep trying and evolving.
To that point, Between Two Ferns technically was a failure.
Yeah.
We made it for a TV show and it didn't get made. So it was a big failure to me and a huge bummer.
A very successful failure.
It became more successful in its failure.
Yeah.
So.